All right, I'm the last guy, so hopefully this will be fun and then we can be on our way. Tonight I'm here to talk about the importance of implementing a website into a capital project. And really my focus tonight is going to be about university and college capital projects. That's going to kind of be what we're targeting here, and the importance of how a website can play a role in generating interest, but also raising money, which ultimately is the most important part of it. And it can be a really useful tool, as we'll see tonight, by some other institutions that have already adopted using a web page and a website as a means to raise money. But before we talk a little bit more, I want to show all of you a video, and it's from Towson University. This is kind of a preview static image, but this is from their website, which is called tigerarena.com, and let's give it a watch. So we kind of get the gist of the video here. Let's see if I can...
Escape.
Come with me. I don't know why I realized her.
Escape.
Well, we got to see the whole video. And let's go back to the slideshow. All right, you saw a video there from tigerarena.com. Let me just turn it over to the audience for a second. Does anybody have any initial thoughts about what they just watched? Was it exciting? Was it something that you would watch to completion? Anybody's thoughts? Zach?
Yeah, if I was a player, I would definitely be inclined to look at Towson more closely, just because it's got to be a great recruiting tool.
What if you were someone who was an alum, somebody connected to the university somehow? Would you find it pretty appealing? Chelsea?
I might want to donate to help support.
It's good. That's the whole idea. And that video is prominently displayed on their website, tigerarena.com. And Towson is about 3/4 completed in their fundraising process to build a new arena, which will open in 2013. And what they did to be successful is, as soon as they had a public announcement, which we'll talk about in a little bit, they unveiled this website that included that video. And that was a huge draw to get people excited about the project. And that's going to be the focus of my presentation tonight, is talking about the importance of the website. And before we talk a little bit more about the website itself, I want to take you through how a capital project fundraising process works. And it all starts with a fundraising pyramid. And when you're devising your strategy to build a facility, you have a ballpark idea of how much money you need raised to build a facility. And what you do is you try to secure your largest gifts first and then work down like a pyramid. So at the top of the pyramid, you have your principal gifts, you have your biggest gifts to help get the project going, which are in a lot of cases in the millions. And you want to secure those gifts first and then funnel down to smaller gifts. In terms of this pyramid, they define major gifts as between 5 and 100,000, and it's typically, that's a pretty good ballpark about what constitutes a major gift. It's a little bit vague, but you want to secure your major gifts and then work your way down to even smaller gifts. And for a fundraising pyramid, you really want to be in position to have secured at least 50% of your total amount of money that you're hoping to raise before you have a public announcement. And let's talk about that public announcement. What we have up here on the slide is the athletic director from UCLA. And UCLA is in a fundraising process to remodel their basketball facility, which is called Pauley Pavilion. And they are in a $100 million fundraising campaign. And what they did is they had a public announcement when they were over $52 million committed. And the purpose of having it halfway is to let people know that, hey, we're already halfway done. Now we need your support to get to the finish line. The fear is if you end up having an announcement too early, you have so much money to raise, in this case 100 million. Let's say they went forward at when they had 15 million or 20 million committed. And if they did it then what's going to happen 2 to 3 years down the line when they haven't got into that $100 million total and people are questioning, well, what's the direction of this campaign? When's it going to be completed? And you want to have that announcement when you can take advantage of folks that might be on the fence about supporting, but when you have that public announcement, you're pretty much saying, hey, it's going to be done. Now we need to target our entire alumni base, our campus community, to see it through to completion. Let's talk a little bit about the design of a website. And in the case of Towson, we just watched a video that could be accessed from one of these rotating blocks that are about halfway down the page. Now the elements of the Towson page, they have a countdown clock, which is a pretty cool feature, at the top of the page where they identify when's it going to open. And basically this clock takes you through until August of 2013. They have some facts about what the facility is going to have in terms of seating capacity, what the court, or what kind of sports is the arena going to focus on, the amenities. And then in addition, you have different video, not just a fly-through, but you have video that discusses the impact of what this arena is going to be for the university, what it's going to mean for student athletes, what's it going to mean for recruiting purposes. And there's interviews that are on the website that include conversations with the athletic director, the different coaches, maybe somebody from the Chamber of Commerce from that region. And as you go farther down, you have static photos. And I think it's effective to have photos, architectural renderings, but you want to have static images down towards the bottom of the page because those aren't as powerful as video. Video is all powerful when you're talking about trying to gather people's attention. Most importantly, on the side, you have a link that people can click on to make gifts. And the goal is that you're going to get people excited. You're going to get people to come to this website, but can you turn them into people who are going to support the project? So you're going to have a giving link. And then you have your Facebook and Twitter links that you can click on and sign on to find out information about the athletics programs and so forth. And there's also a cool feature on this page, which you can watch the arena construction live. And I think that's pretty neat that you can,
Just turn it back on.
You can watch the construction live.
Just turn the projector on.
I'll do that.
Down below.
Projector. Come on.
There you go. It's gonna take a second. Go ahead.
All right, well, don't worry about this. Let's talk about let's talk about this. That's now up here. 3D seating models. Now, not all schools have 3D seating models. Like Towson, for instance, is not a big enough school where they're going to sell 20,000 seats every single game. But when you're talking about the likes of Louisville and UCLA, where for Louisville they got a 20,000 seat arena. For UCLA, they're going to have a 25,000 plus seat arena at Pollard Pavilion once that renovation is completed. People can go online, click on an area within the arena so they can visualize where they'd be sitting from when they're watching some type of athletics event or concert, and they know exactly what the cost is going to be of the seats, and also for the personal seat license. Now, these schools, they have so much of a following that they can charge not only for how much the seat's going to cost, but a personal seat license on top of it. So it's big money. But it's really neat that these schools can take advantage of that technology so that you can really put, whether it's an alumnus or somebody from the community, they can visualize where they're going to be sitting. I mentioned the online giving page. For instance, this is for Rider Athletics. And if you clicked on a link, let's say from tigerarena.com or from another website, it would take you to something similar where you have an opportunity to click on a certain donation amount and even write in, the different number, and you can make your gift. And you want to make it as easy as possible for folks to give money. So if they click on a link, you want them to be really 2 clicks away from putting their credit card information out there to purchase, or not to purchase, but to make a gift. And giving now is so secure online that a lot of universities take advantage of this, not just for philanthropy, but also for purchasing tickets and so forth. Next, I want to go to the whiteboard. And I want to get your feedback based on what I've been talking about. And let's say I have a page that I'm going to devise. Now, based on some of the features that I talked about, who would put what where, and is there anything that would draw you to a website that you think needs to be on a page to generate interest? Anybody? Is there anything that you like to see? If you're going to give money, let's say, if not even for something philanthropic, but if you're going to purchase something from Amazon.com or from Radio Shack, is there something that you need to see on that page that would generate your interest?
Maybe a picture of what you're buying?
Picture of what you're buying. So that kind of goes back to the static image. Maybe the static image of the facility. So we'll have that down here. Different photos. But like I was saying before, I mean, if I was going to devise a website, I would definitely have video very high, as high as possible. But I would also want to rotate that video. I mean, we watched that fly through, but I want to make sure that people know that there's different images, there's different things that are going to be featured on the website. You don't want to have something become boring, so you got to continue to update video. But I want to also make sure that I have some of the facets of what we saw before. I want to have my Facebook, my Twitter. I want to have that link that'll get me to a giving page. I want to have that construction camera. I want to have that countdown. Something I didn't talk about. How about a tally so people know how far you are in the process? So if you go and you see that the thermometer, you kind of know where people are in terms of their fundraising efforts and how close they are to completion.
Yes. Wrapping things up, let's talk about the benefits for the university on having this athletics or university website. A, you want it to look as snazzy as possible, so people that aren't affiliated with the university are going to be intrigued and are going to look at it. And perception's a big deal. So if somebody sees something that looks good, it's possible that you're going to get a write-up either in the newspaper, someone who covers the team from an internet standpoint, there's going to be traffic being driven to that website. And even from the main university website, let's say Rider created something like this. We would want something from rider.edu that would redirect people to the page. It's all about getting as much traffic as possible, whether it's going to come from print or whether it's going to come from another internet resource. And you can see by the picture of Michigan, once you get to that day, it's a happy occasion for everybody. When you get to that day when you're finished the project and it's completed. But as you can tell from my presentation tonight, video, text, photos, it's all very valuable to craft something that is going to look good, but also direct people to opportunities where they can make gifts to support a project. And I think that what we saw, especially from that Towson website, was effective, and even with Louisville and with UCLA, all of them have different ways that they've been able to attract people that have been successful for their efforts. So thank you very much, and we're done, right? Nobody else presenting. So it's almost time to go home. Thank you.